Hey Leo, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for November 20th, 2025. This is for Leo. Last shuffle coming out for Leo. Well, Leo, the commitment energy is here and joy is fun. I feel like for many of you, you've decided that no matter what anybody does, no matter what happens, you're going to approach everything with a joy, with a fun. I'm seeing 12th house and 10th house energy also. Oh, well, here goes the candle. So the commitment energy, it feels like you're putting a stop to something. It feels like you are turning over a new leaf. You're like, you know what, I'm not going to keep ruminating over something, especially if there's like an ending or a separation, or even if you're not completely done with the person, but some aspect of this relationship has completely ended. You're not ruminating over it anymore. You're focusing on joy, fun, who you really are. So this tells me that whatever it is that you have been dealing with, Spirit wants you to let the feelings out, though. Like if you're sad, be sad, right? Um, let it out. Don't hold it in, right? Don't hold it in, because you really need to focus on now. You don't want to hold. They want you to release it, like let it go, let it out, right? I keep getting this. You got to let it out energy, right? The commitment here is the Three of Swords, Ace of Wands, Justice, and Page of Pentacles. So this is a commitment here, or an agreement of some sort, where you're saying, I'm going to follow. I want to say you're going to continue to be okay. You're going to follow your first mind. For a lot of you, even if you've separated from someone, and I see this a lot with Leos, we're like and I maybe, some people are off base, right? Of course, right? Leo, it could be, on one hand, you could find one that has just a very genuine person, someone who is, um, has a lot of integrity, right? And then you could find some that you're just like, man, you could not possibly be a Leo, right? I mean, that happens in every sign. If depending on what else you have in your chart, your other placements, and depending on, your environment, how you grew up, and all that stuff, right? But what I'm seeing is a Leo who is saying, I got to just be me, right? And most of who you are in this energy, most Leos, like I said, are great co-parents, right? I notice it's like, yeah, we may have had problems, it may have been a toxic relationship, but I can still talk to you and speak to you cordially. I could still sit down with you and the kids and enjoy a meal. I could still be polite during that phase, um, thinking about the fact that that's just not me. I'm not the type to just sit here and still and continue to be angry and hurt, right? I can't continue doing that. Maybe for a time, right? It looks like someone has, right? But someone's being committed to saying, it's not fair to me. I need a new, I need to just start over. I need to be, life needs to be different. So I feel that right now, you need to focus on now, right? You need to focus on today. I feel that it's so important that you write down a declaration, like like a, like a straight to the point kind of a declaration. I would say one where hmm, it's like write down your intentions, right? Ask for inspiration. How This is my intention. This is what I want to do. How can I get this done? Right? Asking spirit, meditating on the field that is open to you. It looks like the Akashic field is open to you. It looks like the Aurora Borealis, and I probably am mispronouncing that completely. But you want to visualize your goals and write them down. And then I would say, almost in a perfect world, how could that be done? How could it get done? The universe is, excuse me, with the throat, is ready and willing to align to your heartfelt desires, right? And now is really the time to make something happen. I feel like you are resonating with the universal synchronicity. You can, you can get the information you need. Now is the time to just ask. It seems like all of a sudden you might feel very lucky. Like this is what I want. Ultimately, this is the type of life I want. Boom, you get the answers to make it happen. It feels like it just comes to you. It really does. I feel like you get a yes. And this could, part of the reason why they want you to go through the motions of like, man, I just got to let this go. I got to let some situation go. Okay. Because I feel that even in love, I would say even in love, so many of you need to ask yourself, if I could do anything, what would that be? And keep an open mind. What aligns to you may not be what you think it is. I'm also seeing for some of you, if you're not in a romantic connection at this point, um, you need to venture outside of your comfort zone. Okay, so that would be going after someone who's not necessarily your type. You know what I mean? Which is hard to do if you have a type. You know what I mean? If you have a type, but if you're also in a romantic connection too, they're wanting you to, it's almost like grieve the the fact that this person may not fit your standards all the way, right? You may have certain standards. I don't date anybody who wears white shoes after Labor Day. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And I'm joking completely, but they might not fit your standards. But Spirit's saying, you know, imagine where you would be. What could you, if you could do anything, if you could be anything, what would that be? And then kind of let out the feelings that you've been holding in, right? The disappointment, right? So I feel that for many of you, it's almost like you might wake up renewed. You might come in the room and you're just like, oh hey, and normally they're like confused, like, I thought you were mad at me. You're like, I can't stay mad about anything. I mean, I don't mess with you no more, but I'm not mad anymore. We can still be cool. I feel that that's a weird vibe that I'm getting. But I also feel most Leos are that way. Like, I don't have any bad blood with you. Maybe I'm not going to talk to you about whatever the case, but I can say hi, or share coffee. Like get a coffee and drink it next. Stand around you and be in the same vicinity. Teacher with the Five of Cups and the Emperor tells me, this is a person in your space. Someone has taught you about who the heck you are. So this is through sadness, disappointment, letdown, heartbreak. Someone's taught you. It seems like heartbreak has pushed you towards your purpose. Heartbreak has pushed you to a place where I feel like you're taking a stand, or you are more in control of your life than before. Now you're on the right track. Someone decided to be the fall guy to wake you up. If I'm being honest, it just looks like that. Someone has taught you a lot about how you can be sad about how messed up a situation is, or you can look up and see those two cups standing. Like, you still have two cups. You still have, things are still lined up for you. Things are still in motion. You're on the right track still, right? With these two cups, and the three are spilled, right? You're still in alignment, because I'm seeing angel number 1, 2, 3, 4, and that number typically is a good luck omen, right? Good luck. You are on the right track usually when this comes up, and it also talks about, for many of you, you have ancestors on the other side encouraging you to try your best. Okay, and or you may have one specific ancestor or multiple, wanting you to know you'll succeed, wanting you to communicate very clearly, pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention. You can't afford to be down in the doldrums and upset about the past. You've got to pay attention to what's happening around you. They're not really saying why, but for some of you, it's like you really need to pay attention to what's going on around you. Not some of you, but most of you, right? Optimism with the Knight of Cups and Death. I feel that the optimism in this energy is that, be optimistic if someone says goodbye, or be committed to saying that I got to focus on now. It's, if either you're saying goodbye to a person, you're saying goodbye to behavior, or you're saying goodbye to certain like some disappointing thing, something that happened, that maybe someone broke your trust. Because commitment, if anybody's in the Three of Swords, this is like someone broke my trust to the point where we have to part ways. And it's important to be optimistic if someone is like, I'm sorry, or that energy too. I'm sorry, but things have changed. Be optimistic about it. It's good. It's good that things changed. Hmm. Or be optimistic also that as you change certain behaviors, as you have let something go, as a time has ended, know that you're on the right track. Like something was meant to stop, something was meant to change, something was meant to end. Be optimistic. It's like good. It's good when things that are meant to happen happen, because that means that after this, it's always darkest before the dawn. Something's coming. You need to use gold. Gold attracts the abundance you seek. You need to say, I am just pure magic, knowing that Spirit has a plan for you. You want to look into your 12th house and 10th house, and that would speak of the sacrifices that have to be made on your behalf in some form or fashion. Like I said, it felt like someone was being a sacrifice, and I just didn't realize that after saying the 10th and 12th house. It feels like someone, according to this, it's not necessarily, I mean, there's many different meanings and ways to implement the energy of the 10th house and the 12th house, but for this, at this point, it looks to be that there's something that had to be sacrificed, karma that had to be paid, so that you could have the luck that you desire, if that makes sense. So you could be dealing with a Libra, a Scorpio, an Aries. Mm, yeah. So you could be dealing with a Libra, Scorpio cusp. I think. Yep, that's it. Right. So if you're not dealing with those signs, which you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.